about movies, games, wrestling, and whatever else they can come up with on a whim. You're listening to the Slackercast.
What's up, everybody? Here at you with another episode of the Slackercast. I am Greg. With me, as always, is Lawrence.
Yo.
Superman watching over him. Also from the S'mores Indoors podcast, Corey.
What's up, everybody?
And also with us again is Raw Dog Cards 84, Dustin.
Follow me on TikTok, Raw Dogs 84.
Hey, he loves him some TikTok.
It's good to see, Greg, that you got to swim in before this podcast.
Man, I got
Doesn't
fucking
he look
drenched.
skinny? He looks skinny in there.
I thought that was a shirt design.
He angled the camera so he doesn't look so fat. That's what it is.
You know what, Dustin?
Yeah.
We go right into childish shit. No, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to do a top 10 horror movies list. We talked about this on the Creepypasta episode that we did yesterday, and it seemed like a good idea and something that'd be fun to do. So we compiled our list in less than 24 hours. It's going to be interesting. So I say let's jump right into it, gentlemen. Lawrence, I have volunteered you to go first. So
right.
Go ahead and tell us your honorable mentions first.
All right, so honorable mentions are this, man. VHS movies. I can just all of them. Any of the VHS tapes that came out.
How did I miss those?
That would have been on a list, but I couldn't pick one. They were all so good. I liked them all of them, so I kind of loved them all.
Except three.
Together.
3 sucked.
Yeah, but I still like it anyways. It's one of those. It's not good, but it's okay. So next, I had Paranormal Activity. I had to give it a shout out only because it started that whole found footage shit.
Interesting.
It was because of that one, and I give it credit for that. Because when that first came out, no one else was doing found footage. Not even VHS was out like that. Kind of set up the whole thing for found footage. Devil's Rejects. I put that as a horror film. I know some people may not see it as that, but
I think it is.
It fucked with me. It's one of those films I felt like I needed a shower afterwards. It was kind of Rob Zombie. I don't like his Halloweens, but I do like what he does. Like, it's gritty. It's there's a lot of just aggressiveness in his films, and they just look like they stink, man. I don't know why. It's like something about them, man.
You ordered the DVD.
That's why Diamond Dallas Page fit in perfectly there.
You ain't lying. That's like it's his universe or something.
They look like they stink.
Next, I had Rosemary's Baby. That was one I've seen multiple times, and I like it. It works for me every time.
I'm already impressed by your fucking.
Yeah, and this isn't even. This
just
is
barely
stuff
missed
that
your
would be on the
list.
Yeah, this is just barely missing it. Rear Window is another one. I know some people would call it horror, but it's got enough. Hitchcock's good at thrills and shit, so I put it in as a horror film. That's my last one. So.
All right, Corey. What about you? What's on your honorable mentions?
All right, so I got 5. So essentially, I'll do these from like what would essentially be 15 down to 11. My number 15 is a movie I watch every year on the proper day of the year, and it's the 1981 My Bloody Valentine. That's a movie. The more I watch it, the more I like it. Kind of was late to the game on that one. Probably saw it maybe 10 years ago. Number 14 would be 1931 Dracula. That was the first movie I ever rented on VHS. So it kind of holds a special place in my heart. What would be number 13 for me is 1990 Candyman.
Oh, Candyman.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a good one.
I love that setting and the at Cabrini Green in Chicago and the whole story behind that, behind the Candyman on that. Number 12 would be Frailty. Bill Paxton, Matthew McConaughey.
I don't think I've ever. Maybe I have seen that. I don't remember.
It's a little hidden gem for a lot of people that aren't familiar with it. Definitely worth a watch. And then my last honorable mention would be classic anthology by George Romero, Stephen King, Creepshow.
Oh, dude, nice.
What about you, Dustin? Did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I had 4. The Ring is one of mine. The Rob Zombie Halloween's. Child's Play.
I want to fucking kick you off this podcast already for throwing that shit.
Even. I know a lot of people hate those Halloween movies, and they're like not my favorite Halloween movies, but I like how gritty.
Yeah, Dustin, I said the same thing, dude. They're not bad, but they just shouldn't be called Halloween. They should be called like the homeless guy killer or something.
I just liked how gruesome they were. That's all. I don't really like horror movies, so I'm just winging this. Child's Play, like especially the first one because it scared the living shit out of me when I was a kid.
That's a good one.
And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, next generation.
I love that one. I know everyone shits on it, but it's funny.
My honorable mentions are, I had these just barely missed some of these barely missed my list because I had them in there and then I took them out for other stuff. But I have The Grudge on there. I really enjoy The Grudge.
The Japanese or American versions?
Both of them, honestly. I like them both. The Conjuring. Conjuring is as far as modern horror day flicks, I really enjoy it.
Right. Nice.
Friday the 13th Part 3, which is the best Jason movie to me. I also this one would have probably been my number 11. Would have been The Shining. And then very close to it, I also threw in Creepshow on my honorable mentions.
Cool.
Yeah, Shining would have been in my honorable mentions as well. But yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. So we'll start with number 10. I guess we'll Lawrence, I said I'd let you go first. And I'll go last here. So we'll go Lawrence, then we'll go Corey, Dustin, and then me.
Okay, my number 10, I decided to give it to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2003 version from Michael Bay. That film I seen when I was 11, and it fucked with me hard.
Is that the one with Jessica Alba?
Yeah, no, Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel, yeah, Jessica Biel.
That's the one with her in it. And I remember when I seen that film, from the moment it started, I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, it's the most dank, dirty, swamp-infested place I've ever seen in the film. And his mask, like that Leatherface mask, was fucking creepy. Like the way they made it look. So that was definitely something that shook me when I was a kid. I seen it when I was 11. So.
Happy birthday, Jamie. She just had a birthday stream going.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
happy birthday.
All right, Corey, that brings us to you. What's your number 10?
My number 10. Well, as I said, My Bloody Valentine is a movie I like the more I watch it. My number 10 is a movie, while I still love it, I think it's one that fades just a touch every time I watch it. So my number 10 is The Shining. I don't know what it is about that has kind of fallen for me, but I still enjoy it. It's beautifully shot. I've got the 4K. It's looks great. Nicholson is great as well. But still in the top 10. So
Corey, the story of them making that is crazy too.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes shit.
The story of the making of it is really good. I actually like that almost more than the movie now.
Yeah. So, not much to say other than that, though, about The Shining. Everyone's seen it. So.
All right, Dustin, what do you got on your number 10?
My number 10, I got White Noise because it was.
Dude, I forgot about that one.
Oh, the Michael Keaton one.
The only horror movie that genuinely creeped me out.
Really?
And actually somewhat scared me was that.
Yes.
So I put that in my as my number 10.
Yeah, y'all remember the commercial for that? The trailers where they played the real recording of that ghost.
Oh yeah,
that was fucking weird.
I was excited for that movie when it was going to come out because I was all wrapped up in the Art Bell EVP hype.
Oh yeah, me too.
But the way that they did it with the white noise, of course, which is one way to do EVP, was so different than the way like Art Bell like played them that it kind of bugged me. But cool choice. I'm always supportive of Michael Keaton. So
my number 10 is Children of the Corn. Now, of course, the reason I have some love for this movie is because, living in Indiana around cornfields the majority of my life had a big part in that. But also, man, it was a different movie for its time, man. You had a movie about a bunch of kids who were killing adults. And that wasn't really common per se because, they were wiping out the entire town and the kids were basically running things with their crazy, corn god cult thing that they had going on. So, but that one was a good one. The other Children of the Corn movies never quite lived up to the original, but that original Children of the Corn is a good movie. So that was my number 10.
Yeah, all but that one, pretty much turds.
Yeah, I mean two wasn't horrible, but you know what's weird? Like even as bad as they are, no matter what, I'll always watch them if I catch them on.
Yeah.
So moving on to number 9, Lawrence, what do you have for number 9 on your list?
Number 9, I put Sinister 1, and it's honestly it's one of the most well done recent films I've seen horror wise. Like I said, those basement tapes in that film or something else. Like whoever came up with that was a genius.
Yeah. And also, Ethan Hawke's reaction to him is what really, really made him even that much worse.
Yeah, sure did.
He's
not
really
really much to say about it though. But you've all seen Sinister 1 at least. The other ones sucked. Don't watch 2. It's one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. It's that bad. But that's all I got to say on Sinister 1.
All right, Corey, what do you have for your number 9?
My number 9 will be the original Evil Dead.
Nice.
Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi. Just a cool story. That's another cool behind-the-scenes story, how they came together and just kind of made that movie really cheap, but it's still effective. A lot of people like Evil Dead 2 better, which is essentially the same movie, but like kind of more slapstick. But I like the dark tone of the first one, so that's my number 9.
Good choice.
Excellent choice. Dustin, on to you.
My number 9 is The Devil's Rejects.
Fucking zombie movies.
I love the Rob Zombie
It's his fucking night tonight.
I love those characters, man. I love those characters.
Not a bad choice, though. I mean, it was in Lawrence's honorable mentions, so. And I like that movie myself as well. I actually don't know if I like it more than House of a Thousand Corpses or less.
Because Greg, like you knew those guys were musty. You knew that when they broke in their motel, and they were stuck with them that whole day. And it's like, man, I don't know. It's like picking up the worst people from the bus stop and having them ride with you. Don't get rid of them.
Yeah, I gotta say about those movies though, I like House of a Thousand Corpses way better than Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, I thought House of a Thousand Corpses was more.
The Dr. Satan shit at the end is fucking stupid, and of course, they completely drop that shit in Devil's Rejects. But the rest of that movie's, I think, pretty good.
Yeah, who's the guy that plays the clown-looking dude, the balding
Captain
Sid
Spaulding?
Haig.
What's he like in real life? Is that guy like crazy for real? Because I can't imagine him normal.
He's at conventions and awesome. He just passed away, I think, last year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he just passed away.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
He's awesome from what I hear to fans and shit. So
cool.
Well, my number 9 is Hellraiser 2. It was the movie that really got me. Like initially, I didn't like the first Hellraiser. I saw it and I'm like, I don't understand why people like this. This movie sucks. It was boring to me. But then I watched Hellraiser 2, and you kind of got the full effect of Pinhead in that movie. And after that, I was just hooked on the Hellraiser movies. But
A lot of people
Hellraiser.
A lot of people like 2 way better than 1. So
Yeah, two is definitely better than 1 to me. It's the reason I tell Lawrence he needs to watch it. But yeah, Hellraiser 2 is my number 9.
Nice.
Cool.
So I guess it's up to me now. 8 I gave to. Well, you want to say we're doing 8 now, Greg?
Yeah, we're on 8.
Okay, so Insidious 1. I remember I had seen that, and for one scene in Insidious where the guy's peering through the window when she goes back upstairs to check on her kid. That scene made me actually jump out of my chair. I remember that fucked with me. That's
it was a good jump scare scene. I know exactly what scene you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I gave that one on here. And that's what I got, man. I don't really know the making behind it or where it came from, if it was originally Japanese or not, but I like it for what it is.
I think almost all of those movies are originally Japanese.
Either way, I liked it.
All right, Corey, on to you.
So my number 8 is not the one from a couple of years ago or the one from 2009, but I think it's 1974's Black Christmas. Pretty awesome little slasher film set in a sorority house with a guy calling, and they don't know where the calls are coming from, but they end up finding out. So,
see, I'm gonna have to go with like Corey's list and have to put them on. I'm gonna have to end up like making a list myself. All right, I gotta watch this movie. Gotta watch this movie.
Black Christmas is another one I watch every December. So,
dude, do you think that's a Christmas movie or is it like Halloween? Like, how does that?
I watch it at Christmas time. See, here's the thing. There's always the argument about, is Gremlins a Christmas movie? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? I say they both are because, for one, in Gremlins, he gets Gizmo as a Christmas present, right? He wouldn't have Gizmo if it wasn't Christmas. And Die Hard is a little more argumentative, but he wouldn't be in that building if he wasn't at his wife's Christmas party, right? So
it's a good argument for it. Okay.
It is a good argument. I still don't think Die Hard's a Christmas movie, but it's a good argument. All right, Dustin, what do you got for your number 8?
I got House of a Thousand Corpses.
At least he had it above Devil's Rejects.
Dude, this Rob Zombie list, man. All of his are Rob Zombies. Spoiler.
Fucking.
Yep.
I don't have much to say other than I like Rob Zombie horror movies.
All
was,
right.
that the one where the dude was turned into a fish? Remember, he turns. What the fuck was that, man?
My number 8 is Paranormal Activity.
Oh.
And the reason being is because that was the movie that got me completely hooked on the found footage or mockumentary style movies. Like, after I saw that, I was like, because, I didn't originally like Blair Witch. Once I rewatched it later, I did appreciate it more. But Paranormal Activity did it to me, man, because it just felt so real the way they did it.
The other ones weren't as well done, though. The other ones...
No, that original, like...
nothing was like that original first one.
What really messed with me about the first Paranormal movie is when... I can't remember what scene it was. Maybe she was in the bedroom when she heard it fucking stomping. Like, it's coming stomping through the hallway, and you hear that.
I need to rewatch that, man. I mean, it's been a couple years.
I actually forgot all about you guys that one. Talking about
I actually,
I forgot that. I left it off my list.
I actually took one of my honorable mentions. I believe it was Creepshow, actually, that I took off of my list to put that in there. So
nice.
Cool.
So on to number 7, Lawrence. What do you got for your number 7?
Number 7, I gave to The Exorcist. The original Exorcist. Was it 73? What year was that, Corey? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's 73.
Yeah, that film for me was like, it took it so serious, like the whole demonic possession. And even if you don't believe in all that shit, it does make you wonder. Now,
it definitely did that to people, especially since it was one of the few movies that was actually, other than the fact that the true story happened to a boy, it was a movie that was based on a true story back in those days that, that's what really got to people because there wasn't a whole lot of movies like that.
Right.
That were horror movies per se.
That's what I got on that one. Corey.
Well, my number 7 is the OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We talked about it like a couple of weeks ago, so I don't need to rehash over that. But it's just a classic. It's another one that just grows even more and more on me every time I watch it. So
definitely worthy of any list, I would say.
Yep.
Dustin, what do you got? Which Rob Zombie movie are you coming at us with?
No Rob Zombie movie this time. It's my number 7 is Saw 1 and 2.
It's 2 movies.
Well, I just wrote 1 and 2 because they're the only like real good ones. 3 is like okay, but then after that they kind of get real stupid.
Oh, I'll let you have 1 and 2.
So that's what I wrote down. But yeah, definitely the original Saw movie. Just it was fucked up. So
it was. The original Saw was definitely a classic for its time because hadn't really seen much of anything like that.
No.
My number 7 is Sinister. We already briefly touched on that about why we liked it, but yeah, just those tape scenes, man. It has to make my list just for those scenes alone. And plus, I enjoy rewatching it, so it's not one of those that I just discard after one watch. I still enjoy it. So moving on to number 6.
All right, my number 6 was Psycho, man. The 1960s film, Alfred Hitchcock. This film set the stage for the slasher genre. People like this really was the predecessor to Halloween. Psycho. There's one scene in there you have to see. Spoiler: one of the biggest jump scares in film period is the staircase scene where the guy's investigating that hotel and fucking Bates comes flying up the stairs with a kitchen knife at him. Yeah, it's one of the best scenes I've seen in a horror film.
Definitely a good choice. Corey, what you got, man?
My number 6 is Dawn of the Dead, 1978. We talked about this recently too.
Yes.
I don't know, it's something about that whole mall setting that just intrigued me since I was young. I love that movie, and it might have slipped a little bit over the years, but I think me and Jonathan did a top 10 movies, like just overall movies, and it was in the top 10, but it slipped a little bit. I watched it recently, but still love it though. And had to throw some Romero in there. So
nice. I think I need to revisit that one because I haven't seen it in a long time. So, and I tend to like the older zombie flicks better. So I'm gonna definitely revisit that.
Corey, was that the one that's the one in the mall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite of those ones too.
Dustin, what you got next, man?
My next one is Hostel.
I forgot about that one. See?
Yeah, Hostel. I did enjoy Hostel. That was not a bad one.
I wrote down Hostel 1 and 2, but I won't do that again. So, but yeah, I like both those movies for the same reason because they're just fucked up and gory. And if I have to say one thing I like about horror, I guess it's the gory aspect of it. So
you like torture porn? That's what we're getting at here.
But Dustin,
it's just so fucked up to like sit there and think like somebody sat down and wrote this movie, and so like what the fuck's going on in their head?
No, but Dustin, I feel like that happened to somebody because that sounds realistic.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past you. Fucking uber rich people like to do weird shit. So
traveling overseas and shit, and then people hated Americans at that time. Remember that shit during the 2000s?
Well, I mean, the human trafficking thing is such like that's still a thing. So
right,
it's not like it's outside the realm of possibility for shit like that to happen. So, moving on, my number 6 is the original Pet Sematary.
Ooh,
nice.
That movie, even still to this day, when I watch it, kind of parts of it just give me chills.
You didn't like the new one?
No, and Pet Sematary 2 was mostly shit too. But yeah, Pet Sematary, man.
That original Pet Sematary is still creepy, that Zelda scene.
Oh yeah.
That her sister in the bedroom, which is almost like unnecessary, but
her telling that story is just captivating, man. Like,
yeah,
that movie just as a whole is just good, man. I just love it.
Yeah.
So number 5, Lawrence, what you got there?
I put Friday the 13th parts 3 through 9. I know that's unnecessary, but I feel like they're part of their own era. After 9, it's like a whole nother thing. I don't consider nothing after that to be within the same universe.
3 through 9. I was getting on to Dustin for 2 movies.
I know, yeah.
And you bring fucking like 10 of them.
6.
Because they're all kind of the same. Like they're all the same. Like really, they have the same teenagers that get killed at this camp, Crystal Lake, almost the same way, with the exception of maybe 5. But they're all pretty much the same.
But you said something last time when we were talking about Friday the 13th Part 3. You said that was the truest Jason you got because there wasn't really any comedy in it. This was just Jason at his best, man, killing, teenagers camping.
That was the premise of the guy that was retarded who was picked on, who got revenge against the cool guys, and that was the third one. He wasn't a zombie or nothing or demon coming back from the grave. It was just this straight up just guy in the woods killing people with an axe. That's why I like the third one. So I'll say Friday the 13th Part 3 then.
And that is why I made my honorable mentions.
All right.
So Corey, what do you have for number 5?
I gotta say my top 5 almost could like shift day by day.
Oh, me too,
so
man.
close.
Like y'all have already said movies that I'm like regretful that I didn't at least put in my honorable mentions or on my list somewhere.
But my number 5 is John Carpenter's The Thing.
That's another one.
That movie has, it's like isolation horror, it's a monster movie, it's body horror, great cast, Kurt Russell, Keith David, just all out awesome movie. So watch it every like winter too because it's so the snow setting and everything.
Oh yeah, it's a great winter movie, like good winter horror. What you got, Dustin?
Yeah, go ahead, Dustin.
For number 5, I went with Cabin Fever.
Oh, good choice. I like that.
Another
basically like The Evil Dead, more modernized.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Cabin in the Woods. I think it's kind of a sleeper.
No, I said Cabin Fever.
Yeah, he said Cabin
never
Fever.
mind. Well, never mind.
Cabin Fever.
I take
My
back
Cabin in the
everything
Woods.
I
Cabin
just
Fever.
said.
It's easy to get them confused, though. I mean, they're not the same movie, but anyways, yeah, Cabin Fever. Good job, Greg.
Oh,
So do
man.
you take back that it's good, Greg? Are you like?
Yes, absolutely. I hated Cabin Fever.
Complete 180.
It was another one of those weird, gory movies. It had a lot of really dumb parts in it, though. Like
Lawrence,
the way it ends is dumb.
Lawrence, you will greatly appreciate my number 5.
Go ahead.
Number 5 on my list is Christine.
Oh, freak! I forgot to put that on here.
I absolutely love that movie. It's unique. It's a freaking car that's like, I guess, possessed and kills people. Had the best bully character of all time in it. I mean, there's so many scenes in that movie that I just absolutely love. And it's my favorite car of all time.
Yeah, Greg,
so.
I thought of that in my list, but when I went to put pen to paper, I forgot all about that one. Yeah,
My dad actually named his Camaro Christine
It's
after
just
the movie.
an iconic movie, man. And it's not a bad movie. It's good. So.
Another John Carpenter.
Yep. So number 4 on your list.
Okay, Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one for me. I watch it every Halloween. I show my brothers this. I love this film. It gets better. Like the first time I watched it, it was like, oh, that's okay. The more I watch it, the more I like it because it's so twisted and demented from beginning to end. Like, can you imagine that premise? Like, you can't wake up from a nightmare. Like, think about the last time you had a nightmare that you wanted to wake up from.
Breaking the order here. I'll go ahead and say I agree with you 100%, and that's also why it is number 4 on my list.
Nice.
Because you basically said everything that I wanted to say about it. I mean, it was unlike any of the other Nightmare on Elm Streets. It was easily the best one out of all of them, and it was actually scary, which, is how Freddy Krueger is supposed to be.
Y'all are cute with your same number 4s.
Matching 4s.
Anyway, moving on. Corey, what do you got for number 4?
So
I'm back to John Carpenter again.
They said Back to the Future.
No. One of the most atmospheric horror movies, I think, is John Carpenter's The Fog. And that's my number 4.
Yeah.
So I love that movie.
So there's The Fog and there's The Mist. Which one was like? They're not related, right? That's all.
No. They're. I guess in The Fog it's like ghosts in the fog. In The Mist it's monsters in the fog. So they're both good though. The Mist is
I love the pacing of The Fog. The pacing of The Fog is what makes that movie so good.
Yeah.
I messed up my camera. So my number 4 is actually, this sounds dumb, but I haven't. It's
what is it? Toy Story?
I haven't seen. Well, I got my girlfriend to help me make this list, so it's a movie I haven't seen, but she said it's her favorite horror movie, so I wanted to include it in my list and plan on watching it this weekend. But Insidious, I have as my number 4. So she gave me the synopsis. It sounds pretty awesome, so I'll check it out this weekend.
Yeah, you love it, dude.
Let me know what you think about it, because I did like Insidious. And I've already told my number 4, so we'll go ahead and jump back into you, Lawrence.
Number 4s.
Yeah, I know. It makes you jealous or something. I don't fucking know.
We got matching underwear and shit. Yeah. All right, so number 3, Texas Chainsaw, 1974. We touched on this time and time again. The scene where he first appears, that's all you need to know with this film.
Definitely.
Classic, yeah.
Definitely classic movie. Corey, what about you?
Well, my number 3 is a movie that I absolutely love. Everyone used to shit on this movie when I was a kid, especially the video store. They would try to encourage you not to rent this movie. But my number 3 is Halloween 3.
What? Oh.
That's represented with the mask back there.
I actually love that mask.
I got all 3 of them actually, but
where's the pumpkin one?
It's back here behind this stand. It's kind of hidden. But yeah, I mean, the more I watch it, the more I love it. It's a Halloween night watch for me every year. Kind of replaced the original Halloween for that. And
how dare you?
I just think it's a great little movie. So
I actually, when I rewatched it, I actually enjoyed it more too. It got shit on because it wasn't a Myers movie, but it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah, it's really
good.
Dude,
I tried watching it, Corey, man. I tried the first. I need to rewatch it again, but I actually had to just stop it and check out of it. The beginning is slow for some reason. What do you think? Does it have a good pace or?
I don't know, man. He chases that dude down and breaks his, like forces his nose up into his brain in the first 10 minutes in that hospital, and then lights himself on fire in the car.
That's what you call a slow start?
Well, to figure out what's going on, because I was confused. I remember that part, but it was like, what is it ultimately about? Wasn't it like the masks they were putting in chips in them or something to control kids or something?
Yeah, basically. I mean, it was just like they were trying to kill off the kids. It was like a kind of a revenge thing. So, give it another shot and keep your mind open to the fact that I hate this argument. Everyone says this. If they just called it Season of the Witch, it would have been a lot better. It would have done a lot better. I think that's a lazy argument. I think their idea was cool. They were going to try to start up new franchises every year based on Halloween. And everyone bitched, of course, because they wanted Myers back. But
I got another shot.
Yeah.
All right, Dustin. So we didn't skip over you. What do you got for your number 4 or number 3? I'm sorry.
Number 3, I have Army of Darkness.
Oh, cool.
That's not a bad one. Definitely a classic. A lot of people love that. Have you at least seen it, or is this another one?
Yeah, no, that's one I've actually seen. I really love that movie. It's a classic. That one I have seen, but it has been a while.
My number 3 is a movie that, even after seeing a more modernized version of it, I still appreciate this one better. And that is the original It with Tim Curry. I consider both parts just one movie, but I love that movie, man. Like, just Tim Curry as Pennywise and just how creepy he was as it just did it for me.
Do you like the new It movies too, though?
Yeah, they're good for what they are, but like, and they're not. I actually like them quite a bit. They don't have that same setting as the originals did. And like,
we touched on this before, Greg, with Tim Curry. It's like he's like a real clown. He wasn't like creepy or scary, but he was like someone you didn't want around your kids. Like, he was weird. Like, he was how a clown should be scary.
Well, what I liked about the original was how much he individually tormented each one of them, and just like the small little things he did to fuck with them. And I feel like the new ones didn't touch on that enough. They went more with the spooky house thing instead of him, terrorizing the whole town, because the original things would just happen throughout the town people would ignore. Like, just weird shit, like balloons just appearing everywhere, and people act like they're not there because they want to, not acknowledge that he's there. So I don't know, man. I love that movie. I watch it every time I catch it on. And that brings us to number 2. We're almost there. We're almost to number 1, man. I can't wait to hear y'all's
top 2s. Okay, our Blair Witch Project was my number 2. I watched this one. I don't even have to watch this Halloween. I watch it every year just because it's like, it's so well done for me. I love the found footage effect, but I like how natural it seems. It looks like you're watching a real. I know that people know that it's not real, but the way it's the woods.
The woods was a great.
And those woods were like a character in itself, right?
Yes,
like,
that's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah, the woods itself was just scary.
And how they start to slowly lose their minds over the course of the whole trip. Like, is there a ghost fucking with them? Is there the witch out there? They're not alone, that. And it's like the way they build all these things up. It's just trippy. I love it. I watch it every year, man.
I could see that as a number 2, definitely. And on to Corey.
All right. Well,
I almost like tingle with anticipation with Corey's, because he always shocks me every time.
I'm actually going to do a little something here. I'm going to flip my 2 and 1. So I'm going to move what I have for number 1 down to 2 and make my number 2 number 1, just for the sake of a little more drama in the end.
All right.
So my number 2 is Halloween. Okay. That was my original number 1. That's pretty easy to see. So I'll make that change right here, because these two are close anyway. But what can I say about Halloween? It's a classic. And I think enough's been said about Halloween. So
yeah,
you know what? I'm gonna take a thing out of Corey's book here, and I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna switch my number 1 and number 2, because mine was also originally Halloween, and
mine was Halloween too. So I should have done the same thing had I known.
So all of us are switching our number 1 and number 2. I take it, but Halloween, man, to me that is the perfect movie. There's scenes in that movie that, even though it was done so long ago, like when I see them, I'm just like, it's like a stroke of genius to me. And then the fact that Carpenter did all the music to it, and the music is just so perfect. I mean, it's really just a perfect horror film when you break it down. It's hard to find flaws in that movie.
Someone said it like this. I was watching something. They were like, "It's the best ghost story about a guy who's not dead," because the way that they tell the story.
Oh yeah, that is a good description.
Then it's like you build his legend up. Then when you see him in action, it just builds like all that in one thing to the end. And the ending where he's not dead, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just adds to it.
I'll never forget. I used to try to say, like, before I saw Halloween 2, like, on the ending, I'm like, he's in the tree. He's hiding in the tree.
Well, no, dude, I was like 7 when I seen that movie. And there was this one, my babysitter loved all the Myers. She let us watch it. And when that end scene where the doctor looks over after shooting him and he's just gone, I was like, what?
And then the music kicks in. Don't forget that music kicks back in. That
I couldn't sleep that night, dude. That's
So Dustin, we know mine. We know Lawrence's. What our initial number one was. We swapped it. So what do you got there, man? Are you swapping yours or are you keeping it?
He isn't that number 2 yet, has he?
No, I haven't said my number 2 yet. My number 2 is Evil Dead.
Awesome.
Corey kind of already touched on it, but yeah, just another classic fucking movie.
All right, so we're to number 1. And, oh, man, I can't wait to hear y'all's number 1 since we swapped them up now. But
show
Jess's list there real quick before we do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I had my top 10 list up. Sorry, Jess. I was covering the chat. So Jess here has top horror slasher flicks. Nightmare on Elm Street, number 1. Definitely good choice.
Nice.
Friday the 13th. The original, Jess? Or
that's his series. So, like,
gotcha.
He's listing them by series.
Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Child's Play. Definitely great for a slasher list. Thanks for joining the chat, Jess. You're right in time for our number 1. And Lawrence, you got the honors of giving yours first.
My number 1 was Halloween, man.
No, you already told us that.
You said you switched it.
Yeah, we switched them up.
Switched
so now
you're
number 2.
I gave you
number 2.
What was your number 2?
Blair Witch Project was that?
Oh, he did. Yeah, that's right. He already said.
I never told.
Well, I feel like we skipped somebody. Dustin, we skipped you, didn't we?
No, my number 2 is Evil Dead.
Do your number 2, Greg.
My number 2, which I switched to number 1.
You flipped them though, right?
I did.
Go ahead, start.
It was Poltergeist.
Oh, nice.
It's hard. Actually, it's very hard to top that movie, man. With the whole Carol Ann and the TV and just the creepy shit that happened. The whole movie the way that movie's set up from beginning to end, and then the climax of it was just perfect.
The fucking chairs.
Oh yeah, the weird shit that was happening. But
I actually forgot all about that movie. But yeah, that one is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, cast was great. The
saw that
story
when I was
little,
great. So it definitely scared me.
And then the reveal at the very end that they had bought the house on that Indian burial ground, and all the coffins and stuff.
Shit comes out of the ground.
It's just fucking insane, man. It's a great movie. Yeah, it's awesome. And Corey, did you give your number 2 or?
No, not yet. You ready?
Go ahead, Corey.
I'm ready for it.
This is the movie. I don't know. It seems like a lot of people kind of shit on over the last little while, from what I heard. But I've always loved this movie. I may have introduced this to you, Greg, back in the day. But Phantasm.
Ooh, yeah.
I just love the of course, the tall man, the whole funeral home setting. It always kind of freaked me out. So
you want to talk about a movie where ambience kind of freaked you out and setting, that's definitely one.
I gotta watch that one. I never seen it.
That's one I watch a lot. So,
and I actually never saw that final Phantasm they did before that guy died.
Oh, dude, it's like worse than Sharknado. I wouldn't waste my time with it.
Oh man!
But Lawrence, if you want to watch them, watch 1 and 2. Those are the 2 must watch. A lot of people like 2 better than 1. So
check them out. I still got to watch the Hellraiser Part 2. I've seen Part 1, so I got to add it.
You'll enjoy Part 2 much more, especially if you like the Pinhead character. Orc 145-626 says, well, he said, showed the wrong one, but Phantasm theme is the shit.
Yeah, it's awesome music in there. So.
Oh, yeah. I need to rewatch those movies, honestly. See, that's my thing, man. Like, I'm constantly wanting to rewatch shit, so I have to write it down because I'll forget about it. Because I've just reached that point where I enjoy watching the older horror stuff better than I do the new.
Yeah.
Right. So are the lists complete, or what do we?
The lists are complete. So
Kevin, you forgot about me.
Oh
yeah, I knew somebody was
my
missing.
number one. God,
Poor Dustin.
What is Tina's number one?
assholes. No, it's actually my number one, but Tina did introduce me to it. But I have actually watched it, and it's Cabin in the Woods, which you almost fucking ruined it. But
Cabin Fever.
I fucking love
movie.
that movie with the whole like they have to keep the beast away and every monster is in there. Just the whole concept is great.
That's Josh Whedon. Yeah, I can tell it's him.
Yeah.
I love the story,
Lawrence.
the characters, the monsters, all of it.
Work says, since you haven't seen Phantasm, you need to look up the theme before the movie.
Yes,
before
sir.
you watch it.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Just a question, Dustin, because I'm just curious. Like, why do you think you don't like horror?
I just don't. It just doesn't appeal to me. Like I have never been into horror movies. It's not because they scare me or anything like that.
They scare him. That's what
I
it
just
is.
don't like them. A lot of them are pretty much the same concept. A family moves into a house and there's some kind of fucking ghost.
Let me tell you.
Shit, and it's just there's always like B actors. It's just I just don't really like a lot of horror movies.
Corey, I'm
Just
going to
not
call
a big
bullshit.
fan.
I'm going to say they scare him, and I'm going to tell you why. This dude used to come over to my house and stay till late hours. We'd be watching Sopranos or whatever. And then towards the end of the night, when it went time for him to leave, I would have to walk him to his car because he was scared to walk out there because of how dark it was. So
Well, it's
don't let him
fucking
act
pitch
like he's a
black where
tough
you
guy.
live, you fucking asshole. And you wouldn't put the fucking porch light on, or your porch light was broken, or whatever. So I'm trying to walk out in my fucking car when I can't see shit. So,
I was just curious because you talked about like that ghost app and like all the UFO shit, and it seems to go hand in hand with liking horror.
I mean, I don't really like the dark, but I'm really not. Horror movies really don't scare me. I really think they're dumb, honestly. That's really why I don't like them. I mean, I like the violent ones, but like the more like psychological ones, stuff like that. Yeah.
So even the slasher flicks, like the ones about just like a killer, like that's not anything paranormal, those bother you too?
No, I like some of those. Some of them are, a lot of them, like I said, a lot of them are the same shit. College girls or whatever, some guys. But like Halloween and stuff, I like those. The Rob Zombie movies, shit that's gory.
So you really just don't like the ones that deal with a lot of the paranormal stuff, sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know. They've never really appealed to me. You kind of got me into watching them more.
I did force you to
before.
go to the theater to see a bunch of them. I remember that.
It says "Go Patriots." Dude likes your jersey, Dustin.
And my go Patriots. And my daughter really loves horror movies, and so does my girlfriend. So I've been watching more horror movies now. So
Well, good. Yeah, give them a chance, man. They're my favorite genre for a reason.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I will say that these lists did not go how I expected them to, and like Corey was saying, it could honestly change. Like we could do this list again next week, and I guarantee at least probably 5 or 6 of mine would not be on there. It'd be just something else.
Right.
we should do a top movie list, like Corey was talking about, like a top all time.
Actually, I was thinking about like trying to maybe do something where we work this in as like a regular segment, where we just do a top 10 of like whatever. We could always start the show with something like that.
I'm totally down with that.
Top 10 Dollar Tree foods.
Just try to give us more than 12-hour notice. Not even 12-hour notice.
Dude, I forgot about this until yesterday. I compiled my list yesterday during our creepy.
You text me at like 4:00. I was getting ready to sit down and eat with my girlfriend. I was like, oh, I got to make a fucking list of horror movies.
Look, we're called the Slackercast for a reason, man. You got to just be ready for this shit.
I wanted to ask you this, Dustin. Since you had a lot of Rob Zombie on there, one of his movies I really like is Lords of Salem. Or have you seen that one?
Oh yeah,
No,
I like
but
that too.
my girlfriend did mention that one, and I guess there's another one called 13. I think she said
31. I
31.
heard that's
Yeah,
pretty shitty, but
she said. Well, she said she actually loves. That's her favorite of the Rob Zombie. So
I do know some people like it, but I really like Lords of Salem. But,
yeah, she said she mentioned that one and 31. So I'm gonna sit down and watch all these movies that she was giving me because she loves horror movies. So she probably would have been better than me for the list.
Should have had her in here doing this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's asleep.
So Lawrence, I'm shocked a movie didn't make your list because I think you kind of consider this a horror movie.
What's that?
I'm very shocked that Tusk didn't make your list.
No, I was thinking of that. I was thinking that when he brought up the House of a Thousand Corpses. I thought about the fish dude, but Tusk, that was one that would have not been on there. I don't like it. It's just weird.
That was the Kevin. That was the Kevin Smith movie, right? That didn't get any distribution. He had to do it all himself.
Yeah, it had Johnny Depp in there, which is weird. But
I'm drinking water today, guys. By the way, no alcohol.
Oh man, how disappointing!
There's a couple I left out just for the sake of enough people question whether they're horror or not. Alien for one, which I think is more horror than
it's
not.
Definitely a thriller. More thriller than sci-fi.
But also, one of my favorite movies of all time is Jaws. And
yeah, surprised Jaws didn't make it.
Well, I left that out on purpose just because I don't know.
Sharks aren't killers, dude.
That would actually maybe be a good list we could do in the future, like
Jaws was
a top 10 thrillers list. But that would be hard for me, man, because I that's probably my second favorite genre.
Greg would have 7 Lifetime movies on his thriller list.
But Greg, you brought up a lot of Stephen King. What do you think of Langoliers? That's one of my favorite ones of those.
You know what's funny is I had never seen that until just recently when you told me to watch it. I think I watched it maybe just about 2 years ago, and I loved it, man. Even though it looks like shit at the end.
People always complain about the shit quality, but
I loved it.
Adds to it. I love that it's cheap looking. The Langoliers look like garbage, but that's what adds to the mystique of it.
Yeah, it was another movie that I loved the build to the end.
Yeah.
So no one put what was that fucking movie about the cats that we always watched, the Stephen King movie, Corey? Sleepwalkers, is that what it was?
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Nobody had that on there.
No one had Cujo.
Because it's shit.
Jess says he also enjoyed Langoliers. Everyone has to mention the awful CGI.
Hell's this?
I don't know what the fuck he's doing over there.
Sorry, I had to get something down.
So
go ahead, Tori. Oh, yeah. What about Cujo, the dog one?
I think fucking Cujo sucks. But that's just me. See him sit in a car for a half hour.
Yeah, the weird thing about Cujo, man, is I almost don't even consider it a horror movie. I don't really know what the fuck you would call it.
Yo, I only ever see the ending of it. I never see the beginning, middle, or nothing. I always
You're
see
not
on
missing
TV.
anything.
He's probably seen the best part, which ain't much. But. So I got to ask, I haven't looked at anything. Did anything big come out of that UFO shit?
I haven't even had a chance to look.
Yeah,
I plan on.
One
Go
of
ahead,
my
Dustin.
friends posted something on Facebook saying that they hadn't really released anything. Pretty much the same shit they've been saying, that they see UFOs every day and all this other
Every
shit.
day?
So, yeah,
I thought it was once in a while. What the
No, there was some of the pilots came out and said that they were seeing UFOs every single day when they were doing flight ops out in the ocean.
That's pretty big fucking news.
I was reading a bunch of the declassified PDFs that came out, I think, earlier this year, and most of them that I see on there is just the pilots talking about things that they seen that move from X to Y and a certain amount of speed to it's probably a balloon. Almost all, 5 out of 10 of them was probably a balloon.
It's probably what they're told to say.
And you know what?
Honestly, they're not going to really tell us anything real detrimental, at least not yet. it's too much of a slow build. They're not going to just be like, yeah, there's aliens, and here they are.
Well, fuck, they've been building this shit for 40 years since I was a fucking baby, so I don't know.
But they're
How much
just
of a
now
slow build
starting
do you
to
need?
actually acknowledge that could be a real thing. Because for the most part, it's just been...
Well, the thing is they can't really deny it anymore because technology is so good now and people can present their own evidence very easily. So, I mean, even though a lot of it's, bullshit, the legitimate stuff is still out there. So
that's what I said. They're gonna tell you like what they want to tell you up to a point. I mean, they'll never come out and say, "Oh yeah, we have bodies from Roswell," thing. Even if they did, they would not say that. But they'll say, "Oh, there's unidentified objects in the sky," because, like you said, cameras are so good now that.
Y'all believe that there was bodies at Roswell that they had found?
I'm gonna say this, man. I think Bob Lazar was probably spot on with what he was saying, the kind of shit that was going on.
Well, he claims that he's seen aliens, like the actual aliens in Area 51. So,
and just because how much they focus on like discrediting this guy's story, usually when the nuts come out like that, talking about I've seen this, I worked here, the fucking media, like the higher ups and like the NSA, CIA, and stuff like that, don't even comment on it. They're like, I have no comment on that. That's stupid. But with Bob Lazar, they're like, they're making it a point. Like, no, this is bullshit. He's lying. Usually they just dismiss it immediately. So there might be something to be said to that.
But yeah. Y'all see any movies lately?
I have not.
I haven't. I was watching. I was mostly trying to catch up on that Castlevania anime on Netflix, which is fucking fantastic. By the way, if you like the Castlevania stuff,
I could say Crow for the first time.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that. Tell us about Crow because I've been waiting.
Well, I watched it because, like, when I'm at work, I always bring up Star Wars, and every chick hates Star Wars, man. I don't care what they say. Everyone I talk to that's a female, they hate Star Wars. They don't talk about it. They either like Harry
females, bro.
Well, I mean, I guess so, but they love the Crow. For whatever reason, the Crow is one that they always bring up. Doesn't matter who it is, but I watched it, and I mean, I loved it. I'm like, I should have seen this one. And what's your thoughts on it? Anyone else seen it?
I knew you would love it just by how dark it is.
Yeah.
Such a sad story behind it, with Brandon Lee, but it's really good. I like that story. It's another good like Halloween type movie to watch.
My question is, how the fuck does that happen? How do you mistakenly load a live round into a gun that's supposed to be a blank?
There's a whole huge chain of events that led to that. There's two places you can see that. On Shudder, which is like a horror streaming service.
Yeah.
There's a show on there called Cursed Films or something like that. And they did an episode about The Crow. They did also a Poltergeist one, and they actually talked to Craig T. Nelson, which I'd never heard him talk about Poltergeist.
Ooh, yeah, I need to check that out.
But also, I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. Unsolved Mysteries did a whole like chain of events thing back in the day about The Crow. So it's kind of interesting if you can find that on YouTube or something.
Since you brought back up Poltergeist again, how did you like the sequel?
2's all right. I don't remember much about 3. I don't think it's like great.
Well, like the thing that makes 2 so crazy is the story leading up to it about that little girl passing away and such that.
Both daughters died young, so
yeah. So I mean, it's
the other girl was murdered by her boyfriend or whatever. So
tragedy surrounding that movie.
Yeah,
right. On and off screen.
And the when you hear the story about like some of those skeletons used in the pool scene were real and shit like that.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts. Lawrence, I want to go back to The Crow because we talked a lot more about this when we were dashing earlier. You were not so quiet about it. you were talking about, you're like, I don't want to live in this city.
Yeah.
Like, what's with these cities in these movies?
What the fuck city was that? Like, what do you do for fun there? Because everything is like an alleyway. Like, there's nothing. Everywhere's like an abandoned building, or it's junky. So there's nowhere you can go that's just cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no. Nothing's just chill. So
is it worse than Gotham?
Yeah, it's right up there with Gotham, man. It's the Gotham 7 and Dark City. I don't want to live there.
Actually, no, Gotham would be better. They at least have fairs there sometimes, like the Gotham Fair and such.
Yeah, where the Joker's always crashing or something, or the fucking Two-Face. So, no, fuck Gotham.
You know, I was talking with a friend of mine earlier, and he sent me a message talking about he's like how he rewatched the original RoboCop and how it still lives up to this day. And I'm like, yes, that movie is fucking great.
Detroit is still that fucked up.
Oh, it's an awesome movie.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Who was the guy who played Clarence? What's his real name? I call him Red Foreman because that's on the show.
I don't know his name.
You know what I love? What scene I love in that movie? But that always cracks me up, especially when I see it today. Is when he comes to kill that one guy. What was the guy? The one that was running the whole program, OCP, that was trying to take over. Dick. What was his name? Dick something.
Does anyone in the chat know? Please help us.
Anyway, but like
I can't think of it.
He sent Red Foreman to go assassinate that guy that was like his competition, the one that created Ed 209 or RoboCop, was running that whole program. Like when he first busts through the door, that guy's in there partying with those two chicks, and the first thing he says, he's like, "Bitches, leave." I'm like, all right.
You wouldn't question him neither, because the way he said it, you would immediately just get up and just go
and
somewhere
then
else.
he plays that fucking video of the guy talking to him, and then fucking ends up just killing the guy. It's a brutal movie, man.
Dude, Clarence Boddicker, that was his name in the film.
You know what scene in that movie fucked with me as a kid though? Like I couldn't watch it because of how bad it bothered me. Is whenever like towards the end when they're in that factory, and like he's driving that OCP truck. And like that guy's has already got that acid poured all over him, and he's like, going in the middle of the road doing that, and fucking they hit him with the car, and he just splatters. Man, that scene fucked with me. I couldn't take it. Just thinking someone would splatter like that when you hit them was like, ugh.
Remember when RoboCop tag teamed with Sting?
What?
Like, is that
he was
that
on
was in
WCW.
wrestling?
Yeah,
Did that really happen?
I think so.
Oh,
That's
God.
probably better than RoboCop 3.
Did you see Sting made a return to the ring?
He's been on AEW for like months.
Oh well, I mean, I just saw something on TikTok.
Okay,
today
speaking of that, what's the hell their deal with like signing all these washed up WWE guys? Like they just signed Mark Henry.
Because they're trying to get ratings, I guess.
Mark Henry.
Let them retire.
Ratings. I'm sorry.
Let Mark Henry retire. He's already served his time.
I think they're mostly using him for backstage stuff like Paul White and them. Because I mean, AEW's got a lot of people back there who don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like as far as like the writing team and stuff like that. That's why some of their storylines are so fucking off the wall. So I think they might be hiring on a lot of those guys to just put together stuff. Guys who know the business. And I mean, plus it's also a slap in the face to Vince. So
yeah. Speaking of which, Corey, did you hear about them buying New Japan? Greg told me that, but
I don't think they're buying it. They're going to work with them though.
Yeah. See, a friend of mine showed me a tweet where they said it said WWE's acquisition of New Japan. And
what I read was like they're going to try to work with him, and it looks like if that goes through, Daniel Bryan's going to do some New Japan shows and stuff like that. So.
You know what I think? I think Vince McMahon really fucking wants Switchblade Jay White because that guy is fucking just star power over there.
I'm sure he'll show up if they make that deal. So
I'd mark out. I'm not gonna lie, I'd completely mark out.
I'm sorry. Like I know there's like fans of it, but I think AEW's shit.
It mostly is. There's some good stuff there, but like most of it is like fast forward through it and get to the good stuff.
They started out real strong, but I don't know.
Well, the problems they keep trying to throw all these people at us that were indie stars that not the average wrestling fan knows who the fuck they are, and then they're not doing anything to build them properly. They're just immediately throwing them in main events with people. Like they'll do shit that doesn't make sense. Like, for example, if you want to build somebody like Orange Cassidy, like, he's pretty popular over there. Like, a guy like him, what you do is you throw him in the main event with the champion, and you have him, like, either almost beat the champion, or you have him actually get a pin over the champion to build him up, and then the champion beats him after that. Now, what AEW will do is, like, make him have his good fire or something like that, and then the champion just fucking beats him 1, 2, 3. I'm like, what was the fucking point?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say now. I don't know. They're just making a lot of mistakes. So.
Well, if you want to hear somebody tear it apart, just listen to Cornette's podcast. He will. He pulls no punches.
Yeah. No.
So, did y'all eat anywhere special, or anybody here gone anywhere? Did you try anything new?
I ate it at Olive Garden today for dinner.
How was that? Do they suck now? Because Greg said they did.
Yeah, they kind of suck now.
They just ain't what they used to be, man.
They're not what they used to be, and their menu's like limited now since COVID, and just I don't know. I haven't really enjoyed. I mean, the food was good. It was good and all, but I just haven't been blown away by going to Olive Garden.
This is what's weird about Olive Garden is, like, back in the day when you used to go, it was like it was like mind blowing. You're like, oh my god, this is so fucking good.
It was
like now when you go, it's still good. Like, you can't ever go and say, like, oh, this was shit. But it's like that, like, mind blowingness is just gone. It's just like
a chain.
Yeah,
it's
chain
almost
restaurant.
A step above fast food nowadays. But
Salute is my favorite Italian place to go to around here.
I've never been there.
You gotta go.
You're missing out, bro. That's like one of my favorite restaurants of all time.
So, Lauren, since you asked the question, you did eat something too recently.
I went to El Sitio's, and
it's a Mexican food restaurant.
Best margaritas.
The Mexican restaurant. I had the tacos de lengua, which is like beef tongue or some shit like that. It's exactly what it is. It's cow tongue. That's what it is. So I did that. I ate cow tongue tacos. And I don't know what to say. It's like I couldn't get the idea that I was eating something's tongue out of my head. That's the only thing that fucked with it. And then it has like I'm not gonna say a rubbery texture, but you can tell it's got that. Just imagine what a tongue would be like cooked, and then like imagine that in your mouth.
I don't want to.
Yummy.
I know. I kind of get that. So the taste was all right. It had a kind of a little bit of aftertaste, but it might have been the onions. It was pretty good, but other than that, it was a texture and just knowing you were eating a cow tongue that kind of messed me up.
When you said the texture, so when you were eating it, did the texture feel like you were eating a tongue?
You did.
Oh man, I can't do that. I can't fucking do it.
I don't know. Like, have you ever eaten liver or something like that? Where it's like, you think it's gonna taste like beef when you bite into it. It's a whole nother texture with like liver and shit. So it was like that. Like, it looks like just beef, regular just steak pieces. But then you bite it, it's like it has more of a mushier kind of a taste. You like that idea?
So I'll add my little weird thing that I tried new. So, like, I have a Filipino wife, so I'm always trying new shit that I would have never had before. I tried this. It's called, what it is it's a duck egg, but they sit it in salt water for like 2 months and let it sit in salt water for 2 months. Then they boil it afterwards, and it absorbs all the salt, so it's instantly salty. So I tried one of these with some sinigang that my wife made, which is like a Filipino soup. And it was weird, man. Like it's not. It's like a chicken egg, but like not like a chicken egg. Like it's the egg. The whites of it has a weird, more rubbery taste, and the yolk was mushy. And I can't do a mushy yolk, man. Like I had to scrape the yolk out because it was grossing me out. It almost made me feel like I was eating something that was partially developed, like I did when I ate balut.
I can't believe that.
Tell them what balut is. That's crazier than what you just said.
Basically the same thing I just described, only it's a fertilized duck egg, and the duck inside is half developed. They like ferment it for like 2 months, and
some people eat that shit. I don't, but I don't know. It's like eating a Mardi Gras cake, but the baby was real. You know what I'm saying?
I think we need to bring Chung Bung in and ask him if he eats balut.
Oh yeah, I like that balut. I love balutes.
Why'd you sound redneck? He doesn't sound like that. Chung Bung is a beautiful Asian.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the other guy that came in last night. Well, I forget what he called him. I think it was Raw Dog Cards 84 or something.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Why the Raw Dog?
This was his buddy.
It's a play on words. It's card lingo for raw cards. I only sell raw. I don't sell graded cards. I only sell raw cards. So
sounds like a sex thing to me.
Yeah, I think so too. Is it a sex thing?
No, it's not a sex thing.
But Corey, you got the radio station coming on. Like, what channel will that be on in my car? Can I tune in?
All you got to do is have the app and run it through your car that way. So, Live 365 app.
So, what's the radio? Is it going to be like your internet stuff, like on YouTube, or is it a whole another thing?
So there's like mainly through the day is like classic 90s alternative. And then in the evenings, we have like some horror mystery theater type stuff. And then all night is Art Bell. So sweet. Classic Art Bell, of course, because he's dead. So
yeah.
No, new Art Bell, man. He's
But yeah, that's about all I got, gentlemen. I guess if y'all don't have anything else, we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up.
A quick one.
Yeah.
What do we got planned next week, though, whenever you come back from your trip?
Yeah, actually, I'll go ahead and throw that out there. There will not be a podcast next week because I will be out of town. So I'm going back home to Indiana. So I don't know, maybe Corey will be doing something and I'll appear live in studio there.
Let's set it up. That'd be cool. We can set it up.
Yeah. It just depends on how much time I'm going to have because I'm only going to be there for like a day and a half. So, but yeah, that's all I got planned, man. A trip to Indiana, go back home and get some of this pizza place Corey tells me is like the pizza place I loved back home.
Corey, tell him that Papa John's is better than any of the other pizza places, like Brooklyn's. Authentic New York pizza.
He hasn't had.
I wouldn't say it's better than Brooklyn's, but I used to really, really fucking hate Papa John's, and I used to shit all over it all the time. But then my mom and dad got it one time when we were over there visiting, and now I'm like, it's like one of my favorite pizzas. I don't know. Something changed, I guess, in my taste buds. No.
I tease Greg because
no chain pizza place is better than a mom and pop pizza shop. But Pop's Pizza is better than Brooklyn's to me.
Really?
Yeah. Have you had Pop's Pizza yet?
I haven't. I picked up deliveries there all the time, but I've never actually had it.
Yeah, their pizza is the best to me, like mom and pop pizza place. Brooklyn's is definitely like a close second, but I live closer to Pop's, so.
Check them out.
So let me ask this. I was giving Lawrence shit about this earlier because he was talking about like he want a good cheese pizza. I'm like, man, I was like, no, but why the fuck just get cheese? Why just get a cheese pizza? Oh, only little.
Macaulay Culkin had it in Home Alone. That's why anyone probably knows about it because that's all he would get.
I actually get just cheese a lot now, but.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you kind of have your reasons.
Yeah, but I mean, like for a while, I was getting like a mushroom and like some veggies on there too. But
I don't know why I keep dropping out.
A lot of times now, I'll just get cheese. So.
I don't know. Only little kids eat cheese pizza.
I'm with Dustin. Yeah, only little kids eat cheese pizza.
I mean, I'm boring. I usually just get pepperoni or pepperoni and sausage, but every once in a while I'll throw some bell pepper in there, maybe.
I'm a super supreme guy, man. I want as much fucking toppings on that pizza as possible.
You would have hated me as a kid. I used to pick that shit off and keep just the.
And it depends on the pizza place too. Like I like Domino's. I only like their thin crust, and Pizza Hut. I only like their pan pizza.
I remember when I was young and my parents would order a supreme pizza, I would literally throw like a fucking fit. Like, oh, what are those fucking vegetables in my pizza? I can pick all this shit off and I still taste it.
You talked about Olive Garden going downhill. Fucking Pizza Hut's trash now, in my opinion.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm so sad about it.
It's probably my least favorite pizza place. Like honestly, I almost never get pizza from Pizza Hut.
They used to seem like high class, like kind of fast food pizza, but it is horrible now.
What happened, man? They used to be the Pizza King.
I don't know.
Are they hiring like ex-cons or something to work in there? Because every time I go in there, like they're pissed at me for like trying to order pizza.
I mean, they started going downhill after they started charging for fucking pan pizzas. I'm just saying.
Oh. It's not good.
There was something special about going to Pizza Hut though and eating inside Pizza Hut.
I did, yeah, I agree with you. I did like that. It was like you said, it felt special, man. Like to just sit down and have your pizza brought out on that big wooden thing, and
you get the red glass.
Oh yeah.
Marble. Back in the day in school, they used to give away the little coupons if you read enough books. Yeah. You could go in and get the free personal pan pizza and
back in the day when I lied about how many books I read. Yeah. Get the card.
So Corey, since you're doing
your AR score?
They didn't have AR scores back then, man.
So Corey, since you're doing Grubhub now, I have to ask you: have you had to do a delivery from Chuck E. Cheese yet?
No, but I'll bring this up. How often do you deal with these virtual restaurants? Because I dealt with my first one yesterday.
I don't think I've. What do you mean by virtual restaurant?
Like Wings to Go and stuff, or not Wings to Go?
Oh, like the ones at Chili's, like their virtual restaurant.
Yeah. Ruby Tuesdays has one too.
I got this one yesterday. It was called Wow Bao, okay, which I guess they're kind of like Chinese pot sticker type things. So I hit the GPS because I never heard of this place, right? It pulls me into the Fazoli's, the fast food Italian place. And they're making fucking Chinese shit.
What?
Well, from what I read is it's not the actual restaurant. It's just it's like another place, and they're basically just using the kitchen. So it's not Fazoli's or Chili's. It's their own staff. They're just they like share the kitchen.
Well, this was the Fazoli's manager that got the food together for me. So
yeah, they still get it to, like at Chili's. They do the same thing. They get it all together and they put it out. They bring it out to you and stuff. But
yeah, that's what happens to me at Chuck E. Cheese, because whenever I go to get an order from there, it's called like Pascali's Pizza or some shit like that.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese is just basic.
Yeah, I don't like it. Chuck E. Cheese, from what I heard, Chuck E. Cheese's virtual restaurant is literally just Chuck E. Cheese's food, which is different from most of the other virtual restaurants. Normally, it's something different.
Well, these people are fucking stupid. Why the fuck would you want to pay $20 for one of those Little Caesars quality pizzas?
Hey, don't shit on Little Caesars, man. Watch your mouth.
Oh no, I like Little Caesars, but Little Caesars is like $10 for a Supreme. You're gonna pay like $25 for that shit at Pascali's or Chuck E. Cheese or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Pascali's.
My buddy Jonathan, of course, from the show, he was telling me about these burgers he ordered from. I can't remember the name of the place, but it ended up being a virtual restaurant. He's like, God, these were the best burgers we ever had. The shit was at Denny's.
Yeah, that's like the wing place that's in Chili's. It's called like it's Just Wings or something like that.
It's like Just Wings. That's it.
Their wings are good as fuck. And they got rid of it, but they used to have this black truffle wing sauce that was the fucking shit, man. Best wing sauce I've ever eaten in my life, and it's spicy. So if I'll eat spicy, then it's
gotta be good.
Speaking of your Little Caesars, man, those Parmesan wings that they have there are really good.
See, I don't like Little Caesars wings. Their sauces taste. Ugh. They taste cheap.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I never had the.
I've never had their wings before.
But their buffalo wings are trash. I can't stand their fucking buffalo wings.
To be honest, the only pizza I know is their hot and ready. I don't even know what else they sell.
You can get any kind of pizza there, but and their pizza's never hot and ready. So
that cheesy bread they got is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, so, that Italian cheese bread.
Have y'all ever had anchovies on a pizza?
I tried it one time because of the Ninja Turtles when I was little.
I only tried that recently, like the past year and a half maybe, and I mean it's good, man. I like it. It's like a good change up. Like if you want to just do something different on your pizza, I mean it's a good addition to me. Gives it that extra saltiness.
That's all we need, extra salt.
Right. I don't know. Dustin says I'm looking thin today, so maybe I'm doing something right here.
Yeah, you angled the camera right.
My fucking camera hasn't moved. Okay, is it the same spot it's been for like the past 2 months?
He's got it raised up a little bit so that it looks skinnier. You know, the trick that girls do.
At least someone calls you lard ass, dude. That'd be the worst. I've only heard people get called that in movies.
Its lighting's definitely better. That helps.
I've probably called Greg a lard ass.
Is that the worst? Is that like the worst thing to be called as a fat person is lard ass?
I don't know. What about fat bitch? That's pretty.
I know my little bit of road rage comes out sometimes, and I'll call a fat person some name, and which is stupid because I'm a fat ass myself. So
that's why we have the right, because we're fat ourselves.
So. Yeah, the right.
We have the fat card.
Okay, fair enough.
But like, what's worse, calling a fat person lard ass or doing that music, Lawrence? The
trombone is always worse, man, because you automatically know what it is, and if you are a little bit bigger, you hear that playing.
Work says "fat fuck" is my go-to classic.
That sucks. That would suck to be called that.
Actually, that one's pretty bad. Like, get out of here, you fat fuck.
Or when fat people fall, that's always funny.
How the hell did we go from a top 10 horror list to talking about
best
words for fat
That's
people?
how we do.
That's how we roll.
Speaking of fat people falling, Greg, how's your head, man?
I'm good. It's better. I don't have I think the concussion's mostly gone away.
Yeah.
It sucked though.
You play in the NFL because your career will be gone.
I don't know, man. The amount. What the fuck you laughing for, Dustin? What's so funny?
I don't know.
He's laughing at the thought of Greg playing in the NFL.
That's exactly what it is. Piece of shit. I know exactly what.
Special teams.
Standing at 5'4", 225 pounds.
They'd say that punter's a fat fuck.
Fucking lard ass.
No, dude, they would purposely fucking move the ball like Charlie Brown style.
They make me fall down.
And Greg would be pissed.
Oh man,
I would too, man. Like, watch this. As soon as he runs up to kick, I'm gonna move the ball. I fucking want to kick it, fucking fall down.
It's like the middle of the Super Bowl. Like they don't even care at that point. They just fuck with you.
We're still getting paid. Pull the ball out.
Man, I remember one time I was going out to eat with some friends. This was with my ex-wife, and we were going to eat at a Chinese restaurant in Gulfport. And like they had the floor was like fucking soaked when I went in there. And like I'm just trotting along, I'm all happy, getting ready to go eat, and my fucking right foot caught that wet and it just slid completely forward. I just went back. I was like and I mean I landed flat on my back too. And
you fall a lot.
I do, man. I'm
clumsy. You got some shitty.
I'm starting to think it's on purpose. Dude.
Yeah, it's on purpose.
Like that one time you fell walking into your house, you like stepped in a hole.
Oh man, I thought I broke my ankle.
Yeah, you were so pissed because I was laughing at you, and you're like, "I'm fucking hurt, asshole."
Yeah, this fucking asshole. It's dark outside. I step in some hole.
Yeah,
and
see,
my
it's
ankle
fucking
rolls.
dark outside your fucking house,
and I fall down, And he's like ahead of me. What's he do? He turns around and points at me, and he's like, "You fucking piece of shit."
Listen to this. Dude, Greg was in the middle of a dash, and the guy's waiting for him. As soon as he steps out of his car with the bags of food, he steps in a puddle of mud, a whole thing, almost trips and busts his ass, gets water all over his leg, and the guy's watching him.
I hate those when you pull up to a place that like the whole driveway is just fucking mud.
Oh yeah.
And you gotta walk through it and try to not like sink into it or get your shoes all fucked up. Like,
hell yeah.
Take the fucking strike and just leave.
Yeah. Fucking set that shit down at the end of the driveway.
All right, fellas. I'm gonna go ahead and call this one a wrap. So just want to thank everyone for listening. If you like what you're listening to, just hit that like button, subscribe to us. Also, check out S'mores Indoors. Give them a like and subscribe. You got anything new coming up, Corey, that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think Sunday night we'll have another Art Bell Classic show on the YouTube channel. And I think the topic of the show is going to be the Philadelphia experiment. So,
ooh, nice.
Check that out, yeah.
Well, all right, then. We're going to wrap it up. And until next time.
Slack off.